Hi, everyone, and welcome to today's Healing Step session. I'm Janine Naus, a grief and trauma relief specialist, and I'm so glad that you're here. The holiday season often brings a mix of emotions, and it can be a time of joy, celebration, and connection. But for many of us, it's also a time when the weight of expectations, unspoken pain, and unresolved emotions feels especially heavy. If this resonates with you, know that you're not alone. As we approach the new year, this is a perfect moment to reflect, not just on the year behind us, but also on what we want to carry forward. So today, we're going to talk about something powerful, the difference between being truly strong and suffering in silence. Because real strength doesn't come from holding everything in, it comes from embracing peace within yourself and allowing space for healing. Let me ask you this. When you think about being strong, what comes to mind? Does it mean standing tall no matter what? Does it mean handling everything on your own? Or does it mean something deeper to you? Now, feel free to share your thoughts in the comments. And by the end of this session, I hope that you'll feel empowered to redefine what strength means to you and inspired to carry that inner peace into the new year with intention and confidence. So let's go ahead and dive in. So I want to start by taking a deeper look at the idea of strength because it's something that is often misunderstood. Now, for many of us, strength has been defined as the ability to push through pain, never letting emotion show, and handling everything on our own. See, society often rewards this image of strength, the person who has it all together, who never breaks and who never asks for help. But let me ask you this. Does carrying everything alone truly make us strong? Or does it drain us, leaving us feeling isolated, overwhelmed, and disconnected from the very people who want to support us? Now, true strength isn't about ignoring your emotions or pretending everything is fine when it's not. Real strength lies in your ability to acknowledge your feelings, to let yourself experience them, and to have the courage to reach out for help when you need it. It's about being honest with yourself and others, even when it feels vulnerable. Now, I remember a time in my life when I believe strength meant carrying the weight of my struggles alone. During one particularly difficult holiday season, I was overwhelmed by grief, stress, and a sense of emptiness. But instead of reaching out, I buried those feelings deep inside, convinced that asking for help would make me seem weak. On the surface, I appeared strong. I was smiling. I was doing everything I thought I was supposed to do. But inside, I was crumbling. And it wasn't until a close friend noticed something was off and gently encouraged me to open up that I realized how much I was holding in. I finally allowed myself to share my feelings, to say, I'm struggling and I don't know how to move through this. Now, and you know what happened? That moment of vulnerability didn't make me feel weaker. It made me feel lighter. And I realized that true strength is found in connection, not isolation. Now, have you ever felt like you had to keep it together for everyone else, even when you were carrying so much inside? Maybe it was during the holidays when everyone expected you to show up with a smile, or a moment when you felt like you couldn't let anyone see your pain. If you feel comfortable, share your thoughts in the comments. See, the truth is, strength isn't about how much we can carry, it's about knowing when to let it go. It's about giving yourself permission to say, I'm not okay right now, and that's okay. And this doesn't make you weak, it makes you human. And it opens the door for healing, for support, and for connection. So, as we move forward today, I invite you to reflect on what strength means to you. Is it a time to let go of the idea of being strong means suffering in silence? Is it the time to embrace the idea that strength can also mean asking for help, leaning on someone you trust, and allowing yourself to heal? Now, let's explore this together and Take steps toward embracing a definition of strength that truly serves you. You're not alone, and you don't have to carry everything on your own. So here's something that we often overlook. Vulnerability is strength. It's easy to equate vulnerability with weakness because it requires us to drop our defenses, expose our emotions, and admit that we don't have all the answers. But the truth is, vulnerability takes immense courage. It takes courage to say, I'm struggling, to let someone see the parts of you that feel raw and unguarded, and to trust that you'll be met with care rather than judgment. When you choose vulnerability, you're doing something extraordinary. You're releasing the weight of silence and creating space for authentic connection. And the people in your life, your family, your friends, your loved ones can support you if they don't know what's really going on inside. And when you show up with honesty and openness, you also give them permission to do the same. See, vulnerability is a bridge. It's the pathway to real, meaningful relationships. So let me share a story about one of my clients, Mary. Now, Mary was known as the rock of her family, and she was the one everyone leaned on, especially during the holidays. She cooked, cleaned, organized, and made sure everyone else was okay. But beneath that strong exterior, Mary was exhausted and grieving the recent loss of her father. And she felt like she had to keep it all together for the sake of her family, even though she was breaking inside. And when we began working together, Mary shared how drained and isolated she felt. She told me she didn't want to burden her family with her emotions, so she bottled them up. But as we talked, she started to see that her strength wasn't in hiding her pain, it was in sharing it. That year, Mary decided to open up to her family. During a quiet moment on Christmas Eve, she told them how much she missed her father and how difficult the holidays had been for her. You know what happened? Instead of being met with judgment or discomfort, Mary was met with love. Her family shared their own feelings of grief and loss, and they ended up supporting one another in a way that they've never had before. See, Mary realized that her vulnerability had created a ripple effect. It allowed her family to connect on a deeper level and gave everyone permission to be honest about their emotions. Have you ever felt like you had to look back your feelings, or hold back, I should say, your feelings because you were afraid of being seen as weak? Maybe you're carrying something heavy right now, but you don't want to burden anyone else. Or maybe you've convinced yourself that being vulnerable won't change anything. If that resonates with you, I want you to think about this. What's one thing you've been holding back that, if shared, could actually bring you closer to the people who care about you? When we embrace vulnerability, we let others into our world. And in doing so, we often find that we're not alone. We realize that strength isn't about shouldering everything by ourselves. It's about allowing others to stand beside us, offering their support and compassion. Now, as we move into the holidays and the new year, I encourage you to take a small step toward vulnerability. Maybe it's opening up to a close friend about how you're really feeling. Maybe it's sharing a memory of someone you've lost. Or maybe it's simply telling someone, I could use a little support right now. Now remember, vulnerability is not a sign of weakness. It's one of the bravest things you can do. It's an act of strength that allows you to connect, heal, and grow. And when you let others into your journey, you create space for deeper love, understanding, and connection, not just for yourself, but for everyone involved. Now, what's one way you could embrace vulnerability this season? And if you feel comfortable, feel free to share it in the comments. Let's support one another as we learn to lean into the power of connection and authenticity. And as we approach the new year, I want to invite you to reflect on what inner peace truly means to you. Inner peace doesn't mean avoiding difficult emotions or pretending everything is okay when it's not. It's about creating a calm, grounded space within yourself even when life feels uncertain or overwhelming. It's not the absence of challenges, but the presence of clarity and resilience in facing them. Inner peace is a form of strength because it empowers you to navigate life's ups and downs without being consumed by them. It's the ability to pause, center yourself, and respond to challenges with grace rather than reacting out of fear or frustration. But cultivating inner peace takes intention. It's something we build with small, consistent practices that help us reconnect with ourselves. One powerful way to embrace this is through the practice I call the release and renewal ritual. And this ritual is designed to help you let go of emotional burdens and stressors you've been carrying and create space for new possibilities as you step into the new year. Now, think of it as a symbolic way to honor your journey and set a fresh, empowered tone for the year ahead. So, here's how it works. One, reflect. I'd like for you to take a few moments to sit quietly and reflect on what emotional burdens you've been carrying. Now, these might be feelings of regret, guilt, frustration, or even self doubt that have weighed heavily on you. Write them down on a piece of paper and be honest and specific. This act of writing helps you acknowledge these emotions and bring them into the light rather than keeping them bottled up inside. And two, release. So you're going to want to find a quiet, comfortable space where you feel safe and light a candle or simply sit in stillness. Hold the list of burdens you've written and one by one read them aloud. After reading each one, say, I release this with love. And imagine yourself letting go of the weight as though you're replacing it down and freeing your hands to carry something up, something that's much lighter. And then visualize these burdens leaving your heart and mind, making room for peace to enter. And if you like, you can tear up the paper or safely burn it as a way of symbolizing the release. And three is renew. Now that you've released what no longer serves you, it's time to focus on what you want to invite into your life. Now take a fresh piece of paper and write down one intention for the new year. This could be a single word like peace, connection, or joy, or a specific goal that aligns with your inner values. And then place this intention somewhere you'll see it daily. And then on your mirror, on your fridge, or on your desk are a couple of examples. And they're there as a gentle reminder of the energy you're calling into your life. Now, this ritual is a beautiful way to close one chapter and begin another with intention and clarity. It's not about erasing the past, but acknowledging what you've been through and letting go of what no longer supports you and stepping forward with purpose. As we move into the new year, I want to ask you, what's one thing you'd like to let go of as we transition into this next chapter? Is it a fear, a regret, or an old story about yourself that no longer feels true? Feel free to share it in the comments if you feel comfortable. And when you take the time to release what no longer serves you, you create space for what truly matters. Inner peace isn't something we find, it's something we cultivate through practices like this, where we intentionally let go and make room for renewal. I encourage you to try the release and renew ritual as part of your New Year's preparation. It's a gift you can give yourself, a way to honor your strength and open your heart to the possibilities ahead. So let's step into the new year together with peace, intention, and hope. Now, thank you for spending this time with me today. Now, remember, strength isn't about suffering in silence, it's about embracing vulnerability, finding courage in connection, and cultivating inner peace. True strength is allowing yourself the space to feel, heal, and be supported. And as you prepare for the new year, I encourage you to reflect on what strength means to you and to practice the release and renew ritual. It's a small but powerful way to let go of the emotional burdens and make space for clarity, joy, and purpose. One small step can begin to create a life that feels lighter and more aligned with your true self. If you'd like more tools and support, I want to invite you to download my free workbook, Breaking Free from Emotional Chaos, a guide to managing overwhelming feelings after trauma. And this workbook is filled with practical strategies to help you navigate your emotions and reclaim your sense of peace. The link is in the comments below. And you can also schedule a free 30-minute session with me to explore your unique challenges and create a personalized plan for the new year. Now, this is a wonderful opportunity to gain clarity and take actionable steps toward the life you truly deserve. The link to schedule is also in the comments. So let's walk this journey together. You don't have to do it alone. Wishing you peace, joy, and strength this holiday season and beyond. Thank you again for being here, and I look forward to supporting you in the year ahead.